Hello everybody, my name is Chloe. Welcome back to my channel. I do reading, writing, sometimes lifestyle vlogs, and I'm calling today the writing vlog because hopefully it is July 9th right now. Hopefully by the time you guys see this video, it is months from now, and I will have finished draft 3 of my Regency era novel. So if you've been here from the beginning, like my lovely friends who I know are hopefully watching this, you know I've been talking about this novel for, at this point, 5 years. That's a long time. But I realized I'm really bad at just kind of saying I'm gonna do something. For example, I put on my 2025 bingo card, which I don't think I've ever mentioned before on this channel, that I was going to finish the final draft of my book this year. And if I don't somehow outline and give myself deadlines for things, I simply don't do them. So I was looking at my bingo card recently, you know, kind of doing like a little mid-year check-in, and I realized I have 8 more chapters of my novel to work on. And again, it is July 9th. I started kind of trying to figure out how I was gonna go about this on July 6th. So what I did, I have my little paper here with me. I found how many chapters I had left. I found out that I had 25 weeks until December 31st, so until the end of the year. And that means 25 weeks to get a move on, get a groove on, and finish this draft. Now, I said I wanted to finish my final draft of this book in 2025. That's what the bingo square says. But honestly, I don't know if draft 3 is going to be the last draft because I did so many like developmental edits. I added in so many storylines. There's some parts that are just kind of like, I don't want to call them throwaway chapters, but have less significance than some of the darker chapters. And I do know that that's all gonna need to be fixed at some point and made it more cohesive. But like I've been saying, whenever I promise that I'm not gonna talk about this anymore, I've been working on it for 5 years. I do not have fresh eyes to look at this project. And the only reason I really started writing it is because I realized with the writing skill that I had that I wasn't able to work on my more complex ideas without some practice. So this was a practice book from the beginning. So I think my goal is that I'm gonna finish draft 3 by the end of the year and shelve it. Just shelve her for a while. So let's talk about the deadlines I am setting for myself, because as somebody who up until very recently had been in academia my entire life, I work best with a written deadline. So 8 chapters left. I have chapters 12 through 19 that I need to work on, and if you're familiar, you'll know that I think I'm on chapter 15 of draft 3. But that's because I started breaking some of the chapters into, you know, multiple chapters, making them longer, whatever. So I want to get I'm going to kind of, I think, write this out right here. So I'm just going to shift over. I want to get chapter 12 written by July 27th, chapter 13 done by August 17th, chapter 14 done by September 7th, chapter 15 done by September 28th, Chapter 16 done by October 19th, 17 done by November 9th, 18 done by November 30th, and chapter 19, the final chapter, done by December 21st. That gives me 10 days for error and about 3 weeks to work on each chapter. So I like that because it gives me a little bit of a wiggle room because I am planning on going on vacation very soon. I don't know, I'm going to England and hopefully that vlog is up by now. It's slotted to be up before this video. Oh, obviously, because I probably won't be posting this. I might be posting this. You guys might be seeing this in December of 2025, maybe January of 2026. By then, so much will have changed. I will have moved apartments. That's crazy because I started this novel during COVID when I was back home. Then when I moved back to BU, it was in my BU dorm. Then it was in my Brookline apartment. Now it's in my first Alston apartment, and it'll be in my second Alston apartment. That's 4 different locations. And I had a sublease apartment. Wow, time passes like crazy. But yeah, I am going to probably do check-ins at the end of each time I filled a chapter out. Also, what I did was I took another one of these cute little like sticky note squares that aren't sticky, and I made like a little checklist on it, and I pinned it to my board that's above my desk, so every time I look up I can see how far and how much progress I've made, which right now is a big fat 0. But I also made myself a little list for rewards, because I am like a dog who needs treats to do anything. So I made 8 like rewards to give myself after finishing each chapter as kind of a let's go. So let's do this. You did what you wanted to do. So I will also show, I guess, me getting those rewards. They're nothing like huge, but I think it's actually going to be really, it's going to work. I know myself. I know that's going to work on me. But yeah, I can't wait to see how this journey goes. And hopefully, like I said, I don't need to talk about this more after. So I'll see you guys on my first check-in. Bye. Hello everybody, it is July 30th. That is 3 days after the deadline for finishing chapter 12, or I believe it's mine now, chapter 15, but chapter 12 of the last draft, and I finished it. I finished it exactly on time, which I thought I would have way more time to do it, but I did go on vacation for a week where I left the country, and I was so stupid. I didn't bring my laptop with me because I wanted to disconnect and focus on family time. Instead, I just read like a billion books, but I did. I finished it. I finished it on the 27th, so I'm not as ahead of schedule as I would like to be, but I've started working on chapter 13, or my current chapter 16. I think I have 7 pages left to get through, and I have until August 17th to finish it. But because I finished chapter 12 on time, I earned myself my reward, and that is going to be a poke bowl, because my favorite poke bowl place in the world. It is so good, but my bowl is $25. Every single time it's $25. So I told myself I needed to put a stop to that, but that is my reward. So I will probably insert clips of me getting my poke bowl soon. So I'm happy about that. Alright, I will see you guys for my next check-in whenever I finish chapter 13. Hey everybody, it is August 13th. Everything behind me looks like crap because I'm moving. Please ignore that. I didn't think I'd be filming this today, but I just finished chapter 16, which is my old chapter 13. So that was the second chapter I needed to finish. And you know what that means? That means I get a $30 TJ Maxx shopping spree, which I'm really good at that, where I'll go into TJ Maxx. I tell myself you can only spend $30, and I leave with 3 things, so I'm so excited. This is really working for me to get this stuff done. This is only 4 days ahead of the deadline. The deadline is Sunday. Today is Wednesday. I actually didn't think I would get this done. Even though I gave myself 3 weeks, I'm just a busy bee right now. But what's really crazy is I realized, I might have said this in like a last clip, but I was just thinking about it today, that when I finish this book, I will be in another apartment. So I started this in my dorm. No, I started this officially at home during COVID. And then, so my house, then I had my junior year dorm, then I had my subleasing apartment, then I had my first Boston apartment, and this is my second Boston apartment. I also worked on this when I lived in Colorado too. So I worked on this in 6 locations, and I'll be moving to a 7th, and I already know that this is gonna need a 7th or another draft or rewrite after this, but I'm so excited to be done and put it away for like a year just so I can see like how my writing has changed. And I really do feel like it's made me like a better writer. Like the other day I went back and I reread the first chapter of the first draft. It was bad, but it was really cute kind of seeing like how, I think that means I would have started this when I was 20, how like 20-year-old Chloe was writing, like after not writing like anything ever really. But this is kind of like a fun experiment, but I'm excited. I can like check off that I finished 13 and I get to go to TJ Maxx. So I'll show you guys what I bought. Hello everybody, lighting is horrible. I'm in my like nighttime robe, but it doesn't matter. It is August 24th and I just finished chapter 14, which the deadline was September 7th. And it's kind of crazy that I finished this because like I mentioned, I think in one of my last like check-ins, I'm moving. So I really thought that I was gonna have to like rush and get this done, you know, like right after September 1st when I moved into my new apartment and was done like unpacking and stuff. But I sat down, and to be fair, chapter 14 was a really short chapter, but I finished it and I just like sat down and I whipped it out. I probably wrote a little under 3,000 words. And I decided I'm gonna check off chapter 14. I was reading chapter 15 and I think I'm gonna combine it with so chapter 14 became chapter 17, and it looks like chapter 15 is still told from my male main character's point of view, and it's pretty short, so I'm gonna combine it with my current chapter 17. That's very much in the weeds, but whatever. Other things to say, so this is when things are going to get the most complicated, because from here on out really the story is different, because the ending was very rushed. I think I may have mentioned this, like I don't know, I've mentioned this a few times I think, but this story came from, you know, when you're like laying in bed and you're trying to come up with like little scenarios to help you sleep, this story came from one of those where I had the ending picked out first, where there was a very dramatic like man has to rush on horseback to go find the woman he loves, and so I was so committed to that ending that I didn't care that after the story had really like taken shape that wasn't the best ending for this, so I wrote it anyways. And then the beta reader was like, girl, what are you doing? And I said, you know what, that's fair. That is very fair. And I workshopped with her and I found a kind of better ending that makes more sense to the fully fleshed out characters that I created. So that is what I'm gonna be doing. So I'm glad that I finished this 2 weeks early, a week early. Oh my God, wait, let me check. Yeah, I finished this 2 weeks early. So it's really a good job that I did, because I know the rest of the chapters are gonna take way longer. But let's see what reward I have earned for myself. All right, so the reward I earned for myself is the right to buy myself a fun lunch or dinner that I don't put as part of my monthly budget. So I don't know what I'm gonna get yet, but I'll show you guys. Maybe we'll get like a fun drink or something, but yeah. I'm so proud of myself. I really am proud. I thought I was gonna be, I've been very much on the deadlines, or kind of pushing against the deadlines, but good for me. All right, I will see you guys at the next check-in. Hello, it is September 21st. You can see by my background that I am in a new room. I moved. I think I've said that in the last 3 videos that I filmed. You guys can hear that a lot from me. But I just finished my old chapter 15, which is my current chapter 17, 7 days early. And I can't exactly remember when I finished chapter 14. I know the deadline was September 7th, and I remember finishing it way before that because I knew with moving I was going to be super busy. Like, these last few days have been the first time in weeks that I've actually had a second to like sit down and like write. But I thought when I did that and I finished so early that I would have so much time and be so ahead of things. I am losing the time that I gained by finishing these deadlines early. And in all actuality, I'm just meeting the deadlines, which in a way is good because I'm actually writing and I'm treating the deadlines seriously, even though they're only ones that I gave to myself personally. But I thought I was gonna go a lot faster with this. I'm not doing that. Whatever, I guess. I do really enjoy my reward system because my reward for finishing chapter 15, let me just find it, is to buy the Raven Boys graphic novel. And I have been going to a lot of bookstores and I've yet to find it at a physical bookstore, and I really wanted to like pick it up like physically instead of ordering it. I mean, I would order it from thrift books. I'm not gonna order it off Amazon, but there's like not that like, what's like the word, like there must just be like an extra release of serotonin, the fact that I can physically buy it, and then it's instant gratification. That's what it is. So I think I need to, what I might do is I might go to the bookstore near my apartment just to be there and be inside and have an excuse to look around and ask them if they can order it for me. But like, do I really want them to order that for me? I don't know. I know I shouldn't be embarrassed about that, but it is a wee bit embarrassing. I am just being reminded of my age every single day on TikTok. And I'm like, should I not be ordering a graphic novel about a young adult series? But I shouldn't care what people think. But yeah, that was just some like late night ramblings. I'm suddenly remembering what's coming for me because a really long time ago when I got the beta reader feedback, I've mentioned this a billion times, but I was told that the direction the ending went in was not the best, and I totally agreed with it. Like, this is not something I'm changing just because somebody else said it. Like, I totally knew that it needed to go a different direction, and now it's time. It's time for me to take it in the different direction. I don't know why I did this to myself. And I don't know why I'm stressing like I have like an actual deadline. I don't. This is for fun. I'm having fun. I'm having so much fun. But yeah, there we go. Just a little bit of ramblings. I'll see y'all at the next check-in. Bye. It is October 19th and chapter 16 is not done. I am really hoping that I can lock in and get it done today. Oh. Okay. Yeah, I'm really hoping I can log in and get it done today. I should just have one little ending scene to do, even though I think I remember, I've probably said this a billion times, I had to completely write something new in this chapter. From this moment forward, it is all new stuff, and holy, like, crap, that is making everything 10 times harder. It's so, I'm getting through it so slowly. So I actually, this is kind of fun. I saw this Boston writing group on TikTok, and I was like, can I join? Is there still room? And they're like, yes, of course. So they added me to the group this morning, and they're doing a kind of virtual writing sprint today at 10 a.m. It is 9:40. It is 9:40, so I am going to join that later, and hopefully I can devote that time to getting it done. So I'm super excited about that. I don't know if I'll film any of it. I might not, just like for privacy purposes. But yeah, that's what's on the agenda for me today, and I'll see you guys about whether or not I finish this freaking chapter today, and whether or not I think my reward for this one was buying myself dinner, and I haven't had that poke place since I moved, so I haven't had it in almost 2 months. I want it so badly. But do I want it enough to grind out this chapter today? Yes, I do. Alright, I will see you guys later. Probably soon for you. So I just finished the little writing sprint that I did with the writer club, and we did 3 20-minute sprints and then a little break in between just to chat with each other about what we were doing. There's about like 5 to 6 people, you know, like one person came in and out, and it was like very casual and it was very fun. I actually really enjoyed it, and I wrote 873 words, which is way more than I thought I was going to get today. I thought I was just going to be able to write the last scene to finish chapter 16, which I did, so I'm getting poke tonight. But then I also like got into the old chapter 17, I think my new chapter 19, a lot more. And I was pleasantly surprised because I've been saying that everything from this point on is new, but there is a part about grief, because one thing that happens, like a major plot point still happens, and so I kept a huge chunk of my main character reflecting about that. And now I had just gotten to the point at the end of the sprint where I'm like, okay, like this thought doesn't make sense anymore because I'm not going in that direction. So now I'm hitting the little bit of a speed bump, but I got a lot done. I also just joined that on a whim because I like to plan out my days, like my days off, by like time. So I'm like from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. I'll be at the gym, like 10 a.m. to 11:30 I'm gonna go grocery shopping. And so I had planned that out, and I usually kind of rigidly stick to that, and then I use the time that I have left to like do chores and stuff. But I was like, you know what, I really want to do this thing, you know, join this little group, so let me, you know, try it out, see what it's like. So I did it a little bit on a whim, and it was really fun, and I'm feeling a little spontaneous today, so I don't know where the rest of the day will take me. To the poke place, that's where it's gonna take me. But yeah, I had a lot of fun doing that, so I'm actually really proud of myself. I was really like kind of beating myself up because I was like, you have been working on this chapter for like a month, why couldn't you finish it? And it's because I'm a busy girl, that's why. And it's done now, so I'll see you guys for when I finish chapter 17. Bye. Hello everybody, it is November 5th and I just finished editing chapter 17 of my hopefully final-ish draft of my novel. We have really entered uncharted territory now. I don't even know why I keep looking back at my corkboard that has like my little checklist on it. Also, sorry for the lighting. I know it's really gross and yellow, but I don't know when the next time I'm gonna be able to sit down during the day and record one of these wrap-ups. This is what you're getting. But yeah, we're in completely uncharted territory. I don't know why I said that I'm gonna have to edit chapter 18 and chapter 19 because chapter 18 and 19 simply don't exist anymore, which does kind of suck because in the original draft of the novel, chapter 18 brings in characters that were only kind of discussed earlier in the book and like had some letters and correspondence. Basically, it's the main character's best friend who she's like feeling really lonely because she like moved in with her husband and she's across England and they aren't together anymore. So I had her originally going to her friend's house and we get to meet him and it's like a fun little, oh my gosh, hey, situation, which is really funny because in the beta reader's feedback when I mentioned them, she's like, oh my gosh, like I smell like another story. I bet they were the story. I bet she thinks that they were my first novel, which they weren't. They were just kind of background characters, but I don't know, maybe one day I'll write that. But it would have been kind of a cute nod to that if I were to write a book for them. That's thinking way too far ahead, but now I don't have that cute scene anymore because like I said, it is completely different. But I still guess I can leave up those last two check boxes because I do actually only have 2 more chapters plus an epilogue left. So that's actually a good point. I completely forgot about the epilogue, but I'm supposed to finish this by December 21st, which is crazy. Pause. Yeah, the first deadline I had for this was July 27th, and so far I've hit every single deadline, but it again is now November 5th, which is crazy. But yeah, I definitely, the reason I keep saying like final-ish draft is because my plan now is to completely shelve this for a whole year before going back to look at it again. And I remember when I finished it for the first time, like the first time I ever finished the full novel, I only shelved it for 3 months before, you know, going back and doing the first edit. Now I'm edit, so there was a first draft, then the first edit. This is edit number 2. I'm gonna put it away for a year, look at it with fresh eyes after a full year, and hopefully use that time to work on some of my other projects. But I'm hopefully gonna have it printed out. I think that'd be really fun. I might like Staples, like go and print it off in Staples like other YouTubers do. That would be so much fun. But yeah, so I've technically got 2.5 chapters left to write. I got really stuck on a conversation that was supposed to happen with a nun. You probably saw in the last clip. First draft, I made her kind of, not rude, but she gave the main character like a crisis moment and really set in motion like some bad things that happened. This time I had the nun be like, girl, you're crazy. Don't tell anybody what you just said to me because they would call you crazy. Which I think is funnier. But then more dialogue, lots of stuff. This is what I was gonna say, that there's gonna be another draft because with all of the new stuff that I'm adding in, that's definitely gonna need some editing, but I emotionally do not have time for that right now. Yeah, that was 4 straight minutes rambling. I'll see ya. I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Hello, everybody. This is not really a check-in for how my novel's going. I'll tell you guys, I'm in the middle of the second to last chapter. So I guess this is a quick update. I'm in the middle of the second to last chapter. It is going very slowly. That's just because it's new material. The dialogue's difficult for me. Whatever, I'm gonna think about that a year from now when I go back and hopefully do the final edit. But anyways, this is more of talking about something really fun that's gonna happen. Hopefully, I think it's gonna be fun. But yes, I think I showed this a few clips ago that I joined like a little kind of like writers group thing where a few weeks ago I did like a virtual thing, like a virtual writing sprint. I was just kind of searching for what that was called. We did like this virtual writer sprint where we kind of introduced ourselves, wrote for 20 minutes, talked about what we wrote, did that a few times. I haven't done another one of those just because I've been kind of busy recently, but what we're doing today is the organizer, her name's Ayana, she booked like a room in the Boston Public Library, and what we're doing is, I think there's gonna be 10 of us because she told us to bring 10 copies, where we're bringing a few pages of our work and we're gonna show each other, which is, somebody asked me earlier this week if I was like nervous to do it, and I said no because I was like, I don't really know these people, they're gonna be strangers, so I care about like my friends' opinions more than I care about people I don't really know, but I'm feeling like a little anticipation because there's so many different types of writers in this group and the things that they like to read, things that they enjoy, like the styles. So I feel like it's gonna be, I'm not expecting everybody to like my writing, but I'm bringing the first 3 pages of the first chapter of my book. So it's gonna be the first time anybody besides my beta reader gets to read it, which I'm really excited about. So more excited than nervous because I don't know how it's gonna be received, but I don't, like, they're not gonna be mean to me. Like, they're not gonna bully me, I know that. But let me show you what I'm bringing. So I have my Bookstores Save Democracy tote bag. I'm bringing that one. And, ooh, I only have like a few minutes before I have to go, and I just realized these were not like organized when I got them off the printer. But my friend Sam let me print these off at her printer, and I used like all of her paper. I felt so bad. But I have like the first 3 pages. And I'm gonna get like 10 other people's work, and I don't know, it's only gonna be like 2 hours long, so I don't know if we're gonna like read them and mark them up or anything, but I'm bringing my little pencil case, and it's so nostalgic to pull this out because this is what I used to study with in college, like my, what are they called? Mild liners? See, it's been so long, I thought they were called midliners. So my old little case that I used to use in college, like, oh my god, I even have lead in here. Well, I don't know why I'm so shook by this, but I'm bringing this just in case because I think that's polite, like, to take notes. Super excited for that. I'm probably gonna take my laptop too. But yeah, I don't trust the tea. We're not meeting until 3:30. I'm gonna be leaving in like 10 minutes. It's only 11:30 something, 11:36. Just because last night I thought I left early and the tea took me an hour to get what would normally take me like 35, and I really don't want to be late because I think that's so rude. So hopefully I'm gonna get there a little early, maybe get a coffee, maybe film some stuff. I don't know how much I'm actually gonna be able to film because obviously I don't want to film other people's writing, and if people don't want me to get their faces in it, then I probably won't, or maybe I'll do like a little like sneak of like chin down. But yeah, I will talk to you guys about it after. It's gonna be dark in here afterwards, so can you tell I'm like kind of frazzled? I need to get those all in order, so I will see you guys soon. Bye. Good morning, everybody. Please excuse my hair. It is hair wash day. I don't want to talk about what my bangs are doing. Anyways, I went to that writers group that I was talking about on Sunday, and they did let me take just like a really quick little video of us in the library before we got kicked out. Oh my god. We didn't actually get kicked out because like we were being rowdy or anything. We were all totally fine. But the session was supposed to be from 3:30 to 5:30, and at like 4:45 I was like taking a break because I was done reading my person's piece, and I like pick up my phone and I'm like, I vaguely remember getting kicked out of the library earlier than expected on a Sunday one time, and as I'm looking up like what time does the like Boston Public Library close on Sunday, they made the announcement that they were closed. We had to like go to Prudential. It ended up working out. It was fine. But it was like genuinely so fun. I really loved reading everybody's stuff. And so how we did it is everybody just kind of like passed out the paper copies, or they shared like their Google Docs because some people didn't have theirs printed out. It was like a whole like debacle. It was so funny. But we just kind of read through, like, most people didn't care what type of feedback they got. Most people wanted like as much feedback as people were willing to give. That's kind of what I said. I was like, give me anything, like tell me how you feel about it. Like, I didn't feel like my first sentence was strong, but a lot of people were like, no, it was great, which was very reassuring. And so I gave mostly a bunch of like line edits, a little bit of developmental stuff, but it was hard to give like full picture development just because we only gave each other like 3 to 5 pages. I think I brought 3 pages, most people brought 5. One person brought an article, like a scientific article that he was trying to have published in a journal, and I was like, oh, that was like really interesting. Like, I liked that there was like a big varied amount of people or of types of things, so that was fun. But I got really good feedback on my pages that I brought, and it was so fun because the next day somebody messaged me and was like, I actually really loved your like writing style. Do you have any tips? I was like, oh my god. And then I was like, honestly, like I've been working on this thing. I recommended Jenna Moresi. Oh my god, that's so bad that I don't know how to say her last name because she always says it in every single video. But I recommended her videos because I really like watching those. I also recommended reading books in the genre that you're writing, because I feel like, you know, I read a bunch of different variety of stuff, like lit fic, fantasy sometimes, like a lot of romance. But if I'm ever like, if I've taken a break for a little while, like from writing my book, and I'm like, ooh, I need to get back in the swing of things, I'll read a historical romance, just because then, you know, you get that tone of voice again. And so that's kind of what I recommended. But also I just said, like, that's the 3rd version of the first chapter, and I offered to let her see it. I was like, if you want to see what the first version looked like and you can kind of see like how things changed and evolved, it really just like took time and took practice for writing. But that really like gassed me up. I was like, oh my god, thank you. And there was one piece of writing from one of the girls that I was like in love with. I literally told her, I was like, you need to tell me what you do with this, like if you publish this, like, or when you publish this, because it was so good. Like the writing style, the concept, like I'm excited. There's a lot of people, it's like I genuinely liked every single piece that I read, and I want to see all their final projects. And it was kind of fun because we were like the first group that did this in person. I'm not gonna be able to go to the next one just because it's like the day after my birthday, and like I'm gonna be hopefully out of commission the day after my birthday, if you know what I mean. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go to another virtual writing session on that same day, so like, you know, from the comfort of my own home I can be hungover. But yeah, so while I was waiting for them, because I got to the library a little bit early because I didn't know, I wanted to feel out where we were meeting so I didn't get like super lost. Anyways, so I actually finished the second to last chapter that I was writing, and so now I'm on the last one. And then I was kind of telling everybody like, oh yeah, after this I'm gonna put it away for a year, I'm gonna focus on other things, and then I'm gonna pick it back up. And everybody was like, don't do that. So I think I'm gonna give it, I am at least gonna give it 3 months, because I do really want to focus on my other project that I just started writing. But I think they kind of gave me confidence that, you know, I could potentially send query letters at some point, which I never, like that never occurred to me. I'm gonna be so real with you. I always kind of, somebody asked me like, what is your plan for this? Like, are you gonna traditionally publish? Do you want to indie publish? And the more that I thought about it, the more I was like, if I indie publish, I'm going to have to really promote myself. Like, you know, TikTok, like I'm gonna have to talk about it here more, which that's just like scary, you know, because it's like, I know not everybody is gonna love it. Not everyone's gonna love my writing style. Not everybody's gonna love the story. Not everyone's gonna love the ending. Not everyone's gonna love my characters, and that's so scary. And I know they always say like writers should stay out of like the reviewing space, you know, like I think, I'm not gonna say her name, but there was like a recent controversy with like a TikToker that wrote a book, and apparently now she's like, her followers are coming for people who didn't like it and are giving honest reviews, which I think is crazy. But I don't, like, I know I'm gonna get my feelings hurt. about how people feel about my book. I know that's gonna happen, and I'm gonna feel also probably really hyped up by how people take the book. It's gonna be such like a spectrum. I just feel like if I am the sole person that's promoting and selling and like doing all of that, I don't know how that'll fit into my life. I think that'll like take over a lot of my mental load, and I do also have a full-time job. So like, I think that would be really rough for me to not be able to devote a bunch of time to that. So I think I might try to go the more traditionally published route. But then that also had me thinking, sorry, I'm just rambling right now, that if I go the traditionally published route, that I am worried if I wait too long, I'll miss the wave of mainstream historical romance. You know what I mean by that? Like there's always like historical romance, like regency stuff, like that's always, like that's been around for so long. Like bodice rippers are not new. But I just worry that like, you know, people go through so many trends, and like the Bridgerton trend is kind of dying down a little bit. Obviously the Die Hard girlies always here. The Jane Austen diehards, that was also really fun. Like at the end we all had this huge discussion over our favorite like renditions of like Sense and Sensibility. We all like complained about the Dakota Johnson version of Persuasion because we all liked Persuasion. Because I think if I were to market this book, I'd market it as like a Bridgerton meets Persuasion. And I had a lot of fun with them. It was really, really fun. So yeah, that's how that went. I now have one chapter to finish, and I am hopefully, it's Thanksgiving break now, so I've got a whole month and a half to finish it. But I'm hoping to get a really good chunk done during the break. So I will hopefully see you guys for my last check-in. Bye. Hello everybody, it is December 3rd, and on November 30th I finished the third draft of my novel. Did y'all hear that? They were celebrating too! It's actually like super crazy to me that I just said that, because I was looking at my little like thing I put on my corkboard that I was checking off when I needed to have things done by, and I started this whole shebang in July. To be fair, I did think I was gonna finish it on December 21st, and I finished it a month early, no big deal. But I was looking at my original tracker that I used to have, which I might insert a picture right here, where I was just trying to write like 100 words a day. That was from a really old video, oh my god. But I noticed that I finished the first ever draft of this book on November 4th, 2022, and then as I edited everything, because there was like a period of time that I took a break, I finished the draft 2 edit on November 1st of 2024, and now I finished the third draft on November 30th of 2025. So November's a really good month for me, apparently. Yeah, I did kind of pretty poorly with continuing with the reward system. I think I'm still giving myself the rewards, but that just being said, at the beginning I was really like, oh, I gotta meet this deadline because I want a poke bowl. Oh, I gotta meet this deadline because I want to buy a book, which is crazy. But near the end I was like, I want to hit this deadline because I want to be done. Like, I want to get this written, not in a like a I want to be completely done with this thing sort of way, but in a like a kind of crazy compulsive way, like I must finish this. I think that was helped, like that's all the positive thing. That was all helped by that little writers group I went to, because I'd never really shown anybody. Like even when I had one of my best friends print out the like copies that I brought to the thing, I literally was like, please do not read this. Like I got really nervous, and of course she didn't because she respects me. But after going to the writing group, I was like, maybe I could show my friend my writing. Like maybe it's not as embarrassing. I think I've just been in my head about this for 5 years and I'm rambling right now, but it feels really good to have it done. By done, I mean like done, because I have so many things I still need to do. This draft, my original draft had 70,000 words. This draft had 75,000 words because I added in a bunch of flashback scenes. I need to edit all the flashback scenes. I need to add in a flashback scene that at the end I was like, ooh, I forgot I needed to do that. So I need to do that still. What else? I need to edit the last 2 chapters because those are completely fresh, completely new. And then I need to write an epilogue, and I want to write a few things, like kind of a fun little group of letters between the epilogue. So at minimum, that's 5 things I still need to do. But I think I mentioned somewhere in this video that my plan was after I had finished this draft, I was gonna put her away for a year, right? Like I was like, I'm not touching her for another year. And after kind of like sitting on that, I was like, that feels too much for something that I loved for so long. So the first time I ever put this away was for a month. This time I'm gonna do 3 months. So on March 1st, I'm gonna pull her out of the vault and we're gonna see how things are. But in the meantime, I'm gonna be focusing on some other things, probably focusing a lot on my reading content, also focusing a lot on the video that, or the piece that I had been working on for that video of testing the writing supplements. I'm really excited to finish plotting that and just keep doing what I do. So thank you for following along with this 4-month journey, almost 5-month journey, I don't know, 5-year journey. So I will see you guys in the next video. Okay, goodbye.